I'm taking you now into the agro side and the craft side of Midnight Farm that's developing for the spring of 2011. What I'm showing you here is the things that are in development and we're also raising funds for. But we have our sidewalk, and our sidewalk was donated by a father in honor of a teacher who worked at CLO for some period of time and loved CLO, who subsequently passed away. And the sidewalk is in their honor and in the son's honor. And between this little place over here, this little picnic area, and another one over here is this space. And this is going to be Adam's butterfly garden, which is going to connect these two places. And it's going to be a tremendous number of butterflies and enjoyable things, so you'll be able to sit on both sides and watch and just enjoy yourself. So we have shade trees on both sides. We've kind of got a butterfly garden, and over here is going to be a fire pit that's removed from here, but just so that we can have something for in the evening to enjoy. This is an incredibly interesting garden that is in development for this next year. This is a hanging garden. It's intended to grow produce and fruit crops upside down. We will grow all kinds of fruit crops and tomatoes upside down here, and as you'll see, one of the great things about this is you can actually lower and raise them so that they're convenient for people with disabilities to take care of and to harvest. You can see the newest development, which is still I'd say about 95% done. This will be a 12-month of the year greenhouse. It's a wonderful greenhouse. It is going to be heated and cooled and temperature controlled. We will be using this greenhouse to grow a lot of specialty flowers and to keep them as we have what we call event sales. So Saturdays, half a day, will always be reserved for Midnight Farm events that are really festive events, but we also will use it to sell seasonal things. So as some people will go to pumpkin patches, people will come to Midnight Farm and they'll come and partake in a lot of the activities we have, and maybe we'll buy some mums in the fall, or Easter lilies in the spring, or poinsettias in the Christmas time, or pumpkins, or those sorts of things. But we'll have things that are here for different parts of the year, and when it's not used for those specialty items, we'll use it to start seedlings for our agribusiness side of Midnight Farm that you'll learn about here in a minute. About 4 months ago, we bought a ceramic shop that went out of business, and we got 3 beautifully almost new kilns, and we got 160 molds, and we're developing other molds. And this building right here is being converted. In fact, we just got a bid for approximately $15,000. This building is going to be converted into a ceramic shop. That front door is going to be removed, and we're going to have a cedar front porch put onto that with double doors. It's going to be heated and cooled, and it's going to have the same kind of interior that we just showed you with the lodge. Big long table, and then there's going to be a kiln room that's separate from that, and windows along the side. It's kind of going to look a little bit like a schoolhouse. Our goal is, with children and adults, is that they would be able to come here and do a ceramic project, maybe a pot or something, and then come and actually plant some seeds, take it home with them, take it back to their school. It'll be a way of getting the message of Midnight Farm back. We're going to have some special molds made that are commemorative of Midnight Farm, that have messages on them and have on the bottom information on it, so that not only are they going to have fun, but they're going to be able to get the message of Midnight Farm out, of the mission of Midnight Farm, back to the schools, back to the parents, back to children with disabilities that might not know about Midnight Farm. Fundamentally, there's 11 cities that's been within 25 minutes to 30 minutes of Midnight Farm, which was why we strategically picked this location. Tremendous number of school districts, and we're going to get all of the mascots of each of these school districts, and we're going to have the school help fund a mold for their school, so that when they or their students or people from that school come, they can pick, can pick their school mascot to be part of their craft activity, to paint and to make with ceramics or to help with the mold. So our expectation is that they can help make the mold, pour the mold, and they can help prepare it, paint it, fire it, and then we will then have have people with disabilities that work with CLO deliver the finished products back to their school, because they obviously will be able to paint it, but then we'll have to fire it and then have it sent back to them. And of course, all the folks that we serve who are adults will love to be engaged in all kinds of ceramic activities, and we want to pull all those ceramic activities in with the gardening activities. What this will be is a series in 2011 of raised and other kinds of planting beds for the schools, children with disabilities who will someday be seeking services as they turn to be adults. It'll be for people we serve, and it'll be for community members to work together to actually grow a community garden in partnerships with each other. And we will use these opportunities to teach both families and children the merits of healthy eating. CLO and Midnight Farm wants to stand not only for good health, but being good stewards for our environment. And we have done that in a couple of ways. I'm going to show you those as we get through our walking tour. But one of the most important ones is our well. We use the well, and as it turns out, this well has tremendous pressure, so we're very pleased with it. We just had it redone and raised money to finish that, and it is being used to irrigate our garden as we develop that garden. It will be completely used to keep our greenhouse going, and it will be used for all of our irrigation purposes at this part of our farm, all at virtually no cost for Midnight Farm. So from this angle, you can see the Midnight Farm Lodge, you can see the hanging garden, and you can see the greenhouse. Behind the greenhouse is a ceramic store, and then there's this little red building to the left of the greenhouse that I'm going to show you next. This building is going to be the Midnight Farm Green Thumb Project store. And this particular one, when you see that door open, will be where everybody will come to check out their merchandise and to buy and all the stuff that we will develop and sell at Midnight Farm. And of course, people with disabilities will help man that store and support the customers and interact with the community members as they get involved in all of this. We're now on the back side of our store, of our ceramic shop, and our greenhouse, and our barn. This is going to be a really important area. If you look all along here where I'm pointing, we're going to be putting a 300-foot long high tunnel here, probably two of them next to each other because they're about 20 feet wide and about 200 to 250 feet long. And these high tunnels' primary purpose is to grow fruit crops: strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Those tunnels and all the things that surround the tunnels are about $25,000 once they're all up and operational. The benefits of the high tunnels is that it extends the growing season 2 months on each side of the growing season. So you have an ability to have tremendously longer growing season, but also they do two other things. They grow things in high concentration. So it's micro farming at its best. And it also, because of its heat, it naturally reduces the need for pesticides and herbicides from as much as 40 applications, which would be typical for outside growing, to 3 and sometimes only 4 applications. The fruit product that grows from high tunnels are not only healthier and there's more of it, but they're tremendously large. And so you're able to get great quantity and size of product. Those products will then be used to sell in our store. We're going to teach canning classes and other kinds of classes and have people make those kinds of things, and then they get to keep the jams and the jellies that come from that, and we'll have activities around that. Now if you look this way, there's two things that's really important. One is we have our irrigation pond, which also is is just a watershed to catch some water that we will then use for irrigating the high tunnels that's beyond what the water well can do. We saw this and we weren't really sure what it was. I had it researched and found out that it's a gas well. Most people believed that it was probably sealed and that it would not be functional for CLO's Midnight Farm. We just had it tested. It's 900 feet deep. From this gas well, we'll be able to run the heat for Midnight Farm Arena, the greenhouse, and the outbuildings.